So, good afternoon, everyone. So, I will be the first one to discuss the Chapter 5, Lesson 8.4 Curriculum Responses of Higher Education for Teacher Education Amid the Pandemic and Beyond. Next slide lang, please. So, before we jump to the main discussion, let me introduce the desired learning outcomes. So first, we have the identify the implications of the occurrence of COVID-19 pandemic to teacher education curriculum, and propose adjustment to the curriculum during a pandemic, and identify ways and means to address curriculum based the situation that prevails during the pandemic. Next. So for the introduction, the post-COVID scenario will never be the same as long as the vaccine is not available. Social distancing will have observed even when quarantines are lifted. Gathering your large crowds will still be discouraged. Traditional classroom face-to-face delivery will pose a risk for contamination. In other words, the new normal will soon pervade in the area. New normal and teaching delivery and ensure continuity. Also, we experience hardships and difficulties on to our marketing class. The education landscape and to ensure academic continuity, universities must adapt to the new normal by adapting flexible teaching and learning modalities. Expected na siya nga na ay changes mahitabo. This statement of revising curricular programs to accommodate this shift. Sa kini nga statement, it shows mag-adapt og mga bag-ong strategies nga ma-apply o sa mga students sa content nga gihatag or gitudlo sa student. Since pandemic man maong walay interaction mahitabo. So mao ni we tend to use modular learning where mag-provide ra kag topics sa mga students, and then they learn those topics from their home. In that case, maglisod jud tag evaluate o nakamahuan atong students kay dili nato nga sa atong gihatag lang nga mga assessment tasks, ila ba jud gibuhat on their own or they are just relying internet kay mao man ay kasagaran ko dili face-to-face ang klase or muhatag kag assessment via online. So next slide please. One emerging concern during the pandemic is the provision for flexible learning modality to mitigate the risk of face-to-face action. With the shift to teaching and learning, modality is the provision for flexible curriculum. Though curricular programs need to be changed to support the trajectory towards flexible teaching and learning, in the Philippines, the standard curricula and guidelines of the different disciplines as recommended. The COVID-19 pandemic has highlighted the need for flexible learning modalities to minimize face-to-face interaction. Thus, shift the CCTs or evaluation of curricular programs or alignment with flexible teaching and learning approaches Kay limited raman ang face-to-face during pandemic and di pud tanan na baksinan niya. Kunya wala pa daw na. So na-stuck dito sa modular learning for years. And pandemic has brought biggest impact sa education, especially sa mga estudyante. Do we need to modify the current curriculum flexible and resilient? Yes. Modifying current curricula to make them flexible and resilient is necessary too. So, ang usa ni sa mga rason is to address pandemic-related disruptions where ma-ensure ang continuity of learning sa students despite unforeseen circumstances. Bisan pa man walay interaction may tabo between sa teachers and students. So, next slide po please. So, teacher education curriculum response to the COVID-19 pandemic and beyond. So, natay duha, which is first is curriculum modification, and then ikaduha is curriculum considerations. So, next slide lang. Curriculum modification is the process of making adjustment to existing programs in higher education, specifically teacher education, in order to respond to the needs of the learners amid and post-pandemic. Curriculum modification refers to the process of revising or updating existing educational programs to updating course materials, adding new topics or removing outdated information and altering teaching methods, assessment techniques, or evaluation criteria. Diin ma-meet na to ang needs sa mga students sa mga new strategies and techniques nga atong gi-apply during pandemic. Also ma-measure na to ilang knowledge, diin ma-evaluate kung asa mas need nila og more support to enhance their understanding. Mao na ang curriculum modification. Next slide ka lang. So, curriculum modification. So, nani siya, 5 ka. Case findings under sa curriculum modification. So, ang first is focusing on the essentials, mapping and enduring outcomes in the recommended and written curriculum. So, in focusing on the essentials, it focuses ni siya og unsay learning objectives nimo sa kana nga topic, where ma-identify nimo ang critical skills and knowledge sa students. Ang ikaduha is rearranging of the college offerings. Sa kini nga response, if reorganizes academic programs to address pandemic-related issues, providing relevant education. Kaya mao man ay relevant issue during pandemic, so probably mag-construct pud kag assessment nga related sa pandemic issues. Tulo is offering of effective or cognate courses that relate to the pandemic. So, ano siya? Diin mag-develop tag mga courses nga to enhance students' resilience. Ikaapat is modifying the taught curriculum. So modifying the taught curriculum, it shows adapting teaching methods for flexible learning, ensuring effective knowledge transfer. And lastly, modifying the ASIS curriculum, where mag-construct tag mga learning strategies, techniques nga ma-align sa assessment nga atong ihatag sa student with flexible learning modalities and to evaluate students' learning effectively. So, evaluate na to is kana nga mga strategies or techniques effective ba sa atong students o kanang ma-meet ba sa ilang learning styles. So, in conclusion sa ako po ang kanang part, modifying curricular programs to support flexible teaching and learning is crucial for Philippine higher education institution. So So by addressing these challenges or responses, institution can provide students with relevant, adaptable, and higher quality education, ensuring their success in an uncertain future. So, ito sa akong part. Next report.
So I'm the next reporter. So I'm reporting curriculum consideration. So first, recognize CJ. So the first is the context of teaching and learning. So context is a crucial for understanding the meaning of anything. So from a single word to a complex, even by ang complex ay by considering the surrounding circumstances or an environment. Say nahitabo sa itong palibot, more siyang context. So we can gain a deeper understanding of what we experience. So number one, the concept of teaching and learning. So World Health Organization kaya nag-declare sila sa COVID-19 pag March 2020 has irrevocably altered the course of human history. So the scale of pandemic impact is truly unprecedented, not only in terms of tragic loss of over 10 million lives and still counting, but also in profound disruption to daily life and societal structures. So this global crisis has demanded a fundamental shift how we live, work, and interact sa atong family or sa atong friends. So amidst this immense upheaval, education remains a vital cornerstone of human progress and societal well-being. So kani siya na fundamental human rights that cannot be sidelined. So even in the face of pandemic, the pandemic has presented a unique set of challenges for educators, sa mga teachers. So it highlighted the need for innovative and context-sensitive curriculum delivery to effectively engage and support learners this new reality. So ang mga educators and teacher must embrace a more dynamic and flexible approach to teaching. So one that recognizes the diverse needs of learners, the limitation imposed the pandemics, and the opportunities for leveraging technology and alternative learning approaches. So the pandemic has forced us to reimagine education as essential that we continue to adapt and evolve to meet the demands of this new era. So, paligid next. So, early scientific research revealed ang COVID-19 to be a novel disease caused by a new virus. So, recognizing the highly contagious nature of this virus, the World Health Organization issues crucial guidelines for everyone to follow to minimize contamination and transmission. So, quarantine transmission refers to just a process by which disease-causing organism like a virus or bacteria moves from one person sa animals or objects to another. So it is how the disease spreads. So contamination refers to the presence of harmful organism or substance on the surface sa mga object or even sa person. But this not necessarily mean a person or object is affected, but it indicates now presence of something that could cause illness. So the following transmission and contamination. So the first is wash hand frequently with soap and water. So kani siya, the most effective way to prevent the spread of the virus is to wash hands frequently with soap and water. So this removes any virus particles that may present sa atong kamot or sa atong hands. So it is also important to avoid touching sa atong eyes, nose, and mouth weak kung wala tay panghugas. So, hence there are entry points for the virus. So, number two is wear face mask usage or wear face mask. So, kani siya wearing a face mask that provides a personal barrier. So, preventing the transmission of droplets containing the virus through coughing or talking. So, this surge has a crucial layer of protection for both the wearer and those around them. And the third is keep distance or social distancing. So, kani siya nag-maintain siya safe distance or at least 1 meter from other individuals or the person, effectively break the chain of transmission. By reducing close contact, the likelihood of virus spread is significantly lowered. And the fourth is health etiquette or practice health etiquette. So, covering the mouth and nose when coughing or sneezing with a tissue or elbow. So, instead of hands, reduces the risk of spreading droplets. So, these simple acts of awareness contributes greatly overall health and safety. And the fifth is regular exercise or do exercise. Physical exercise, whether indoor or outdoor, when allowed is recommended. So, physical activity, whether it's indoors or outdoors, when allowed. So, it encourages the boost the immune system and improve overall well-being. So, exercise can help strengthen the body defenses against the virus. And the sixth is nutritious diet or healthy food that will build the immune system. So consuming a balanced diet rich in fruits, vegetables, or other immune boosting foods is essential for maintaining a strong immune system. This helps the body fight of infections more effectively. So, conditional guidelines have become integral to our daily routines, demonstrating the importance of adapting to a new normal and embracing measures that safeguard our health and the health of our communities. So, next, please. So, play ko taas. Di makita. Thank you. So, there are 9 essential for maintaining good health, especially during times of illness outbreak. So, number 1 is stay at home. So, stay at home when sick. So, this is crucial to prevent spreading illness to others. So, if we're experiencing symptoms like fever, coughing, or sore throat, it's best to stay at home and rest. And the second is keep distancing or keep physical distance. So maintaining a safe distance from others, about 6 feet, help to reduce the chances of healing respiratory droplets that may be carry viruses. This is particularly important in crowding areas. So, and number 3 is wash hand frequently. So, washing your hands thoroughly with a soap and water for at least 20 seconds is one of the most effective ways to prevent the spread of germs. So, this is especially important after using the restroom, before eating, and after being in a public places. And number 4 is wear mask. So wearing a mask, especially in a public settings, it helps to prevent the spread of respiratory droplets. So this is especially important when you're sick or in close contact with others. So by following this simple step, you can help to protect yourself and others from illness. The fundamental guidelines issued by the World Health Organization to prevent spread of the COVID-19, including frequently hand washing, social distancing, and mask wearing, so have significantly impacted the traditional face-to-face classroom scenario. So while in school have reopened, the risks of transmissions necessitates continual restriction of physical attendance, leading to new reality where learning takes place remotely or hybrid model. So this situation characterized by volatility, uncertainty, complexity, and ambiguity, that is VOCA. So nagdemand siya fundamental shape and how a teacher kano pagconduct sa education. So the new normal in education daw has emerged as a hybrid approach. So when learning happening anytime, anywhere, and anyhow, ang education 4.0, which is emphasized on digital technology. So personalized learning and flexible learning environment is increasingly becoming the standard sa education. So in this context, teacher education must adapt to prepare educators from this evolving landscape. So ang programs need to emphasize digital literacy, pedagogical innovation, and development of skills to navigate constantly changing educational environment by embracing the VOCA reality. So on teacher educations, programs can equip educators with the tools and knowledge necessary to thrive in this new era of education. So next, please. The learners and the teachers. So all learners, college students are diverse in reference to their readiness to learn under the pandemic. The teacher education institution or TEIS are spread all over the country, and there are more than 1,200 of this institution before the pandemic. Students come from a diverse background based on geography, location, rural or urban, economic status, rich or poor, student attendance, big university or small, and many more. So the learners and the teacher, the transition, the online or flexible learning during the COVID-19 pandemic has been present in a unique set of challenges for college students and their educators. So particularly in the Philippines, college students like learners at all levels come from diverse backgrounds with varying levels of readiness for online learning. So factors such as geographical location, like rural or urban, so sa socioeconomic status and the type of institutions attending like mga large university or small local schools, all contribute to the diversity similarity teacher and in teachers education institutions. So also come from a diverse backgrounds reflecting the same range of experiencing and perspective. So this diversity highlights the complexity of shifting the traditional face-to-face instruction to online or flexible learning. While some students may have access to technology and the necessary skills for remote learning, and there others may face significant barriers, including limited internet connectivity, lack of access to devices, and inadequate technical skills. So the same challenges may apply sa mga teachers. So particularly those who are less familiar sa mga online teaching platforms or mga methodologies. So therefore, but choosing an approach the learning method is crucial. So it must be responsive to the specific needs or circumstances of the learners and the teachers, ensuring equitable access to quality education for all. So the shift to online learning requires careful consideration of this diverse context to bridge the digital divide and foster a truly exclusive and effective educational experience. So number 3 is appropriate teaching. Balik. teaching the library during the time of pandemic and beyond. So, kanin siya, nag-choose yung teaching the library during the pandemic and beyond is a complex one. So, nag-influence siya by factors beyond just the learners or sa mga teachers. So, another is internet connectivity play a crucial role in determining what approaches are visible sa mga teacher when both student and teacher have reliable internet access. So, several delivery modes open up opportunity for flexible learning. Next, please. So, another below are example delivery modes which may be utilized for flexible learning. So, relate the students and the teacher with the availability of the internet connectivity as a major factor implement sa flexible teaching and learning. What kind of teaching delivery can be used kanay from a student and teacher have it. So, another is no internet connectivity nor some ways. So, number one, use of printed self-learning modules or learning packets, which are distributed through means that will follow social distancing can be picked up from strategic distribution centers. So, like sa kanang modules, kanang during pandemic, modules ra gikuan sa mga teacher para ang mga student dili sila pwede makana sa school kay pandemic that no that time. So, bawal ang mga student na moadto sa school silang tanan. So, gi-module na sa mga teacher ang ilang kanang learning. And number two is a places with no risks of COVID-19. So, play ko taas. So, a group of not more. Okay na. A group of not more than 10 students may meet face-to-face but health protocols. So, ang kwan po dira kay ang gikuan na dira 10 people ra daw ang pwede makasod or makagawas sa atong community during sa pandemic. Kay nadre sa health protocols dapat magawas sila naslay i-follow dapat na kanang health protocols. Nadra ang social distancing, pag-use of mask, pag-wash hand or often, etc. So this sa kuan, parikutas, sa limited internet connectivity. So, some ways, so, asynchronous learning. So, asynchronous online learning, ko, siya na mode and nag-involve yung self-paced learning. So, when student access materials or ang complete assignment has their own convenience. So, it utilizes a platform like Learning Management System, LMS, to share resources, mga videos or assignments so student can engage with the content when it best suit their schedule. Blended learning na this approach combines niya sa synchronous and asynchronous elements. So, offering a more flexible, engaging experience, it may involve like session for interactive elements like discussion and guest lecture, alongside self-paced learning module for content delivery. So, content delivery nag-mode sa cater to different learning style and preference while offering flexibility for students who might have been completing the commitments outside of the study. So, however, it's important to know that while internet connectivity is essential, it is not a silver bullet, but addressing the other factors like access to devices, mga technical support, or some teacher training remains critical for successful implementation of flexible learning. Sa excellent internet internet connectivity na exam way. So, ako ngayon na dito, synchronize. Sa synchronize na sequence, 3. Teacher prepares an instructional guide or IG like a lesson plan, where most of the delivery will be lecture or demonstration. So it is similar to whole class instruction. There is a very little interaction at the end of the session through a question. So next, please. So, thank you.